My topic today is another one of the presuppositions of a brilliant coach. This one says that the client is resourceful and will come to a solution with or without a coach. Now, this is important because there is often a feeling amongst coaches that you have to finish the process. That if you've got your client for a couple of hours, and as often happens, sometimes they kind of, go around the houses a bit, and it's only in the final 20 minutes that the client tells you exactly what the problem is. Sometimes coaches feel, well, I need to do something about it. I need to finish the process. I need to make sure that the person is leaving with a solution rather than saying after 20 minutes, oh, well, that's your time up for today. Now, I'm not a great believer in having fixed timescales. Usually when I bring somebody in for a coaching session, I say to them, book 3 hours out of your calendar. Somewhere between 2 and 2.5 hours, we'll come to a natural stopping point, and that gives you a bit of additional time just to get your head back in the game before you have to go and do whatever else is next on your schedule. So I'm not a big fan of the kind of, we've only got 20 minutes left. But nonetheless, this whole thing about, the client is resourceful. Now, my first example of this came about during one of our NLP Master Practitioner programs, where we were doing what we call a coaching masterclass. As it sounds, we get one person comes out to the front to be the coach, somebody else is their client, and they do a little coaching session for real. But from time to time, we'll call time out and talk to the coach about how are you doing, where are you going with this, what have you got, and they get feedback in real time about their coaching technique, which many people tell us is really valuable. So it happened this one day that we'd been doing a coaching masterclass, and the person who had been the client had arrived at an understanding that she'd not had before about something that had been a problem for her for many years. And it was the last day of the training, and we had certain things we needed to do before everybody left. And somebody said to me, oh, but you can't leave her just hanging because we're not back here for another 4 weeks. And I turned to this lady and I said to her, do you feel like you're hanging? And she said, no, I'm fine. So I said, OK, well, we'll check in with you next time. And if we need to, we'll continue the process. And so she came back the following month for the next module of the course. And we said, how are you doing? And she said, well, the problem has been resolved. And the person who had been the coach immediately said, oh, I was looking forward to helping you work through that. Which really got me thinking. So as a coach, obviously you want to do a thorough job. Obviously you want to make sure that your client is getting resolution on their problems and they're getting plans to achieve their goals and so on. But sometimes I think we lose sight of the fact that people generally are resourceful. And if someone is aware that something's not the way they want it to be in their life, then that sets up a drive to resolve it. It sets up a motivation to do something about the problem or to do something about achieving the goal. So, yes, working with a coach can be really helpful. But it doesn't mean that they're only working on the issue while they're face-to-face with the coach. Because if something's important enough that someone sought out a coach to help them with it, then they're not going to park it in the back of their mind between sessions. What you're doing as a coach is you're giving them a little bit of a kind of a leg up in the process at regular intervals. You're not giving them the whole process. And I think this is very important because as coaches, I think we need not to make our clients dependent on us. I think it's really important that we recognise that our clients are doing pretty well, that if we never helped them, they would still come to some kind of resolution. It might not be the best possible solution. It might not be the resolution that they would want, but they will achieve something left to their own devices. So as a coach, what you're doing is not providing the only way to a solution. You're hopefully providing a really good quality way to a solution that leads to the client ending up somewhere they really want to be. But fundamentally, I think it's useful to believe this as a coach, that your client is resourceful and that they will come to a solution with or without you. Because if you believe that about your client, then it helps them to believe it too. Think about it.